Hello friends, welcome to my channel Go Digit. As you know that last week we have covered the concept of cluster indexing in SQL Server, right? And how we can understand this clustered indexing from the business central perspective. Now, today in this video, we will try to cover the non-clustered indexing with the concept of included columns. Yes. So last week, if you have seen my video, then or if you have not seen, then I would suggest you to please go and see the last week video. I will pinpoint that in my description as well. Uh, because in that video, we have managed to create a non-cluster index as well, right? Based on the phone number field. Right, so I have shown you this table which has this field called number, name, address, and phone number. So we made this phone number basically a non-cluster index. And how we managed to do it? We managed to do it through uh, by creating this secondary key. Right, in this when you're creating a table in the Business Central, apart from the primary key, which automatically becomes clustered index as well. So when we created a secondary key, it automatically became a non-clustered index, right? So first of all, let's understand from the like how basically what exactly the difference and uh, what I'm trying to say when I'm saying non-clustered index. Okay, so for example, let me create a new query just to see the total number of records into this table. Okay, so let's say I will run select star from clustered index testing and execute. Okay, so you can see here that total number of records are somewhere 11,444. So it's a huge record, right? And the point is that when you see this number field, which is a primary key also, and because it is a primary key, so it's a cluster indexing as well. So if you see this execution plan, as we have discussed last week also, it is fetching the results from the cluster index. So basically you can understand it that it's a table, but it's a cluster index as well, which holds the data of my primary key and along with my fields as well. But the main thing is that with the help of cluster index, the number field will always be sorted in an ascending order, right? Although we can define the descending as well, but at this moment by default it's an ascending order. So you can see that I don't have to do any extra step manually or so, but it's just that system is storing my data in a sorting order, so that it becomes so easy to fetch the record. It will become more faster from the performance side. But now let's say I want to sort the data on the basis of phone number or on the basis of name or address or any other field apart from number. So I cannot do the same in the same table, because let's say if I try to sort it on the basis of name, then you can see here currently it is JPM. But let's say if any name is there with the which is uh, maybe if A or B or C or something. uh, so you can understand like this way, that if I let's say out of this JPM, M is M is the word which comes before J and P. So if I put M Mary Williams first, then automatically the number should show 4 rather than 1 or 2 or 3. Then it will alter the sorting of my number. So if I sort through the name, it will be problematic for my number field, right? And vice versa. So the thing is, in the SQL end, if I want to sort on the basis of name, system will again sort it, but to the different clustered, or it is called a non-cluster index, which is this one. So if I show you this one, okay, and let me show you the properties also. If you see into this property section, you will find out that what it will do, it is non-cluster index, unique index key columns are phone number, and because I made the phone number as a field, right? So phone number will be sorted on the basis of ascending order. But along with the phone number, it is also taking the number, right? So number is a primary key which will be attached to all your cluster indexing, right? So whatever number of fields you will create in the secondary key or in the non-cluster index, whether you do it or not, but primary key will always get attached to it, so that in this non-cluster index only the phone number field is there, but it also contains the reference of number field, right? Because then system can go and check the cluster index. So it is like a it is for, like, you can understand, for linking purpose between cluster index and non-cluster index. Okay, now you see the second option called second tab, which is called included columns. Okay, what exactly this is? In the included columns, as you can see, name is showing up, right? Name field is showing up. How it is showing up? Because if you see my table structure, and when I added this phone number field, I used this property called included fields is equal to name. Okay, so if you see this, it sets the field that are included as non-key columns in the index on SQL Server. So it is like a concept where you are adding this name field into the indexing, right, into the indexing structure, but you're not making this field as a part of your key. So name, if you see, is not a part of the key, right? So maybe in your table the data will not be sort out, stored in a sorted manner on the basis of name field, but it is a part of indexing. And as we know that as soon as we make the fields a part of indexing, the performance will get increased when it comes to reading the data. But the second concept which we learned last week, that creating more number of keys or creating more number of index in the table will be an overhead for the SQL Server, because of the fact that the SQL Server has to uh, rebuild or restructure based on every hit which on the basis of your code runs, or every time a new data enter into your system, into your table. So restructuring is something like which SQL Server has to do always and always, so it's an overhead. Okay, uh, so in that way we should, it's not like that we should make indexed for all our fields, right? Otherwise it will be very hard, and if you want to increase the performance from the read side, but insertion and modification, all that stuff will become too slow. So but in that way this included field concept comes into the picture, where you just have to add the field, it automatically become a part of your current index, so you don't have to create an extra index in the SQL Server, right? So it is just like you're saving one by creating one more index. It's just like that. And since now your index of phone number, as I showed you up, that not only holds the data of phone number plus number field, but it also holds the data of name as well. And now let's see the difference. So for example, by creating a data on the basis of, currently when I ran this query, it is taking from the cluster index scan, right, which is very good. But the thing is, it is currently, you can see, reading all the 11,444 records and so on. But let's say if I type where phone number equals to, like this, and when you see the execution plan, you can see that it is taking index seek from the non-clustered end. which means that out of 11,000 records, it is checking only one record, because we know, system knows, SQL Server knows that phone number is a part of non-cluster index, and in that phone number is a field, and I can directly pinpoint to that particular record which user is interested of. And now see the difference, that because of the select star, right? Select star means that I need all the columns: number, name, address, phone number. Whereas number column, phone number column, name column are the part of non-clustered, but address is not the part of non-clustered. And because of this address field, system although managed to fetch the record from the non-clustered, but since address is not a part of this index, so system is taking the reference of number from the non-clustered and checking the clustered index record. So you can see here it is using key lookup. Key is our number field. So it is looking up the record based on the number field and fetching the address out of it. Right? So although it is checking only one record, but still it has to do the key lookup, because address field is not a part of my non-cluster index. Now see, if I just type let's say number or phone number. Okay, and now if I execute it, so you can see that I'm getting only number and phone number field, and we know in my non-cluster index both the fields are the part of this. That means this index will hold the data of both these fields. So should it go to the cluster index as well now? Let's see this, and you will see no, it is taking index seek, which means it is very faster, as we discussed last week as well, that rather than scanning the whole table or whole index, it is just checking that particular record, fetching all that particular record. It is reading only that particular record, not checking all the 11,000 records. Or let's say if your table has millions of records, it is not checking all millions of records. It is reading and executing and fetching only one record from the non-cluster index only. Let's say if I add name as well, because we made this name field also a part of my non-cluster index. Let's see the difference. Still name is showing up, and if you see to the execution plan, still it is index seek non-clustered, because name is also a part of my non-clustered via the concept of included columns, included fields columns, right? So that is how useful this property included field, that we can include our other table fields column in the current index structure, and no need to create one more new indexing structure and give an override to your SQL server. But of course, since now index seek is working and it is very faster, performance is will be good. So this is whole the concept goes, like how the cluster index works and how the non-cluster index work. Let's say I'll show you again. If I add address, automatically again it will though check index seek, but it has to go via key lookup because address field is not a part. So I hope now you managed to understand the concept of cluster indexing, non-cluster indexing, the concept of included fields uh, property into the table structure, how we, what is the, when we create a primary key, what it impacts at the SQL end, when we create a secondary key, how it looks into the SQL Server backend, when we use this property and when we use this property, what exactly the meaning of it and how it is beneficial from the performance side. So again, as I explained you last week also, uh, please, when try to, like, after when you're whenever you're building any functionality into the business central, just look at the number of fields with which you are playing more, whether you are using those fields in reports or code units, or any functionality you are building. So see which fields you are using the most. in for the filtering purposes, for the reading purposes, for the insertion purposes, for the modification purposes, and so on. Based on those selection of fields, you should see that how can you make them a part of your either primary key or secondary key, or add them through this included field property, so that overall performance of your functionality uh, will increase, and your user will be able to basically not face any sort of lag, or deadlock situations also will occur very less. So I hope now we get the idea of this whole index. Continue supporting our channel, and request you to please hit the like button, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video.